Have you ever been called something you aren't? A murderer, a snitch, a shady person. This is labeling, and it's not good. Then you realize that a change must be done to stop all of this. Do something that will change a person's perspective on you. Be the hero you want people to see you as. For the final installment in the Spider-Man series, Peter Parker does exactly that, and he went from a nobody to a legend. Hey guys, Marky's here, and Happy New Year. So I'm just curious, what did you do in the past 2 weeks? Did you go on vacation? Or maybe you played board games? Well, I know that I saw Spider-Man No Way Home and binge-watched Netflix. Speaking of No Way Home, let's review it. This review will be unique for 2 reasons. It's a movie review, which I haven't done on this channel before, and I'll be using some new techniques that'll make the review more interesting. But before we get into this review, let's take a look at just some of the talented people in this movie. So here is the cast. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Zendaya is MJ. Andrew Garfield is the classic Spider-Man. He's also my favorite out of the 3 in the movie. Willem Dafoe is Green Goblin. Jamie Foxx, one of my favorite actors, is Electro. Nice job on the Roddy Ricch album, by the way. Bully Maguire is the other Spider-Man. I like the name Bully Maguire because that just suits him, you know. And Tom Hardy is Venom. Pretty good cast. Now let's get into the review. So the movie starts right where the previous movie, Far From Home, ended. Many news outlets are calling Spider-Man a murderer because he killed Mysterio. It's also affecting the life of his friends, in which they can't get into school because they are friends with Peter Parker. So Spider-Man goes to Doctor Strange and tries to solve this issue. He wants everyone to forget about him, except for his friends and MJ. Doctor Strange tries to make this reality, but Spider-Man keeps fucking with the spell. As a result, Doctor Strange creates a disaster instead. After an encounter with Doc Ock, Peter Parker tracks down some multiverse villains, some of which include to be the Green Goblin and Electro. They end up breaking free, so that was kinda useless. Then a fight breaks out between the villains who escaped. Peter has to fight off Green Goblin, but the house gets destroyed in the process. Unfortunately, Aunt May dies in the incident. Meanwhile, MJ and Ned try to bring Spider-Man back after he left the scene of Aunt May's death. But they bring back Andrew Garfield instead, which is my favorite version of Spider-Man. And after that, they bring back Bully Maguire. With these 2 Spider-Men being found, they team up with the actual Spider-Man to take down Electro. After the 3 Spider-Men take down Electro, Peter Parker isn't regarded as a villain anymore. He's regarded as a hero, a certain someone who saved New York. Then Peter and the gang get to go to school again. He does, however, pay a visit to the graveyard to give the late Aunt May a gift in the afterlife. Happy joins him, and that's No Way Home. There's also a post-credit scene where Tom Hardy has an interesting conversation with someone at the bar. And also, there's something at the very end of the movie, also known as the after-credit scene. Doctor Strange is with Wanda from WandaVision, and we are told that Doctor Strange will return in a future Marvel movie. It's about this whole multiverse thing. That's what I know. Also, before we get into my ranking, which you probably are anticipating, a detail I forgot to tell you. When Ned brings back Andrew and Toby, he's able to do that thanks to the powers Doctor Strange gave him. And also, we gotta go over my scoring for movies because they are different from my album scorings, which I'll talk about in a future video. A 10 out of 10 means it's a perfect movie. A 9 out of 10 means that it's still pretty good, but it has one flaw. For a 9 out of 10, the flaw is usually related to the plot. An 8 out of 10 means that it's good, but it has 2 flaws. For an 8 out of 10, the flaws are usually the one I previously mentioned and related to one of the characters. Like maybe I don't like their story arc, or the character overall. A 7 out of 10 means that the movie's okay. It's not worth revisiting though. It has 3 flaws. The flaws are usually the 2 I just mentioned and related to the soundtrack. Maybe I wasn't too fond of the soundtrack and I took off 1 point because of that. A 6 out of 10 means that the movie's mediocre. It has 4 flaws. A 5 out of 10 means that the movie is bad. It has 5 flaws. A 4 out of 10 means that the movie's really bad. It has 6 flaws. A 3 out of 10 means that the movie's horrendous. It has 7 flaws. A 2 out of 10 means that the movie's a disaster. It has 8 flaws. A 1 out of 10 means that I would rather jump off a cliff than ever see that movie. It has 9 flaws. And a 0 out of 10 is the worst of the worst. It's at the bottom of the barrel. That would go to a movie I really despise, and that movie would make me pissed every time I talk about it. And now that we covered all the scores a movie could possibly get from me, let's rate the movie and give our final thoughts. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Pretty good movie, but the pacing feels a bit slow. Like that part where Peter had to track down the multiverse villains. That took up a good chunk of the movie. But hey, at least it's not Titanic where the pacing's even slower. My favorite part of this movie was when Ned brought back Andrew Garfield. But yeah, what do you think of the movie? And what superhero movie is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and let's make this year the best year on my channel.